In the last few days, there have been a lot of announcements back-to-back on the One Piece side. Netflix revealed 4 new actors for the live-action Alabasta season, and with that, we are starting to see a little more clearly who will stand on which side in the upcoming Civil War. But the real big surprise came from the anime side, because 2 new One Piece movies were announced, one of which will tell the God Valley incident. And we are not talking about a classic anime movie where a new villain appears, Luffy beats him, and then continues on his way. One of the most important past events in the main story is being brought directly to theaters. On top of that, there is also a second very mysterious movie coming in 2029, about which we know almost nothing. So today, we will talk in detail about the new faces joining Alabasta, the importance of these characters in the story, and the new One Piece movies we will be watching over the next few years. So if you are ready, let's begin. First of all, the 4 new names Netflix announced for Season 3 are Emilio Sacrea, Omid Abtahi, Jamie Ward, and Nabil Khan. These actors will play Koza, Toto, Pell, and Chaka respectively. The official title of the 3rd season is now One Piece, The Battle of Alabasta, and we know that the season will be released in 2027. There is no exact date yet, but filming has been completed. The announcement of these 4 characters actually shows how wide the Alabasta adaptation will be. Because instead of focusing only on the big fight between Luffy and Crocodile, Netflix is preparing to show the rebellion in the country, the suffering of the people, and why Vivi is so desperate to stop this war. Especially Koza and Toto. Joining the cast is a very important detail, showing that the background of the Civil War in Alabasta will not be brushed aside in the series. Koza will be played by German actor Emilio Sacrea. You may have seen Sacrea before in Netflix's Warrior Nun and Tribes of Europa, the movie 60 Minutes, and the series Those About to Die. Koza is Vivi's childhood friend and the leader of the Alabasta rebel army. In other words, he is one of the characters standing right at the center of the chaos created by Crocodile. Koza is not actually a bad man. He is trying to protect his country and the people of Alabasta, but after years of drought, people's suffering, and lies about the king, he comes to believe that Cobra has betrayed his people. Crocodile uses exactly this anger from Koza to grow the rebellion. The most important thing about Koza is that even though he stands against Vivi, he wants the same thing she does, for Alabasta to be saved. The difference between them is that they believe completely different things about who is destroying the country and how it can be saved. So Emilio Sacrea especially needs to reflect Koza's angry but not evil side well. Omid Abtahi will play Koza's father, Toto. Abtahi may be the easiest actor to recognize among these 4 names. He has appeared in many major projects such as The Mandalorian, American Gods, The Boys, Better Call Saul, Fear the Walking Dead, and City on Fire. At first glance, Toto may not seem as important as the other characters because he is not a powerful fighter who takes part in big battles. But he is one of the characters who represents the emotional side of the Alabasta story. While everyone loses hope because of the drought in Yuba, Toto continues searching for water in the desert, believing that the rain will return one day. On top of that, while his son Koza is the leader of the rebellion, Toto still believes that King Cobra has not betrayed his people. So father and son love the same country. But while one still trusts the kingdom, the other believes there is no path left except war. Luffy's meeting with Toto also shows him that behind this war, there are not statistics, but real people whose lives have been torn apart. Pell, played by Jamie Ward, will probably be the most talked about character among these 4. We may have seen Ward in productions like The Gentleman and His Dark Materials. Pell is one of the strongest warriors of the Alabasta Royal Guard, and thanks to the Zoan fruit called the Tori Tori no Mi model, Falcon, he can transform into a falcon. So after Chopper, we will see through Pell how the series handles another Zoan transformation. But what makes Pell important is not only his strength. He is a character who is extremely loyal to Cobra, and especially to Vivi. He has known Vivi since she was a child, and he sees protecting the kingdom not just as a duty, but as the purpose of his life. At the end of Alabasta, he also makes one of the most unforgettable sacrifices in the story. Of course, let's not say the result of that scene here, but I am sure those who know the manga and anime are already wondering what Netflix will do with Pell. Because the live-action adaptation does not hesitate to make some characters' fates more definitive than they were in the anime. So Pell's famous scene could become one of the most debated moments of Season 3. The final new name is Nabil Khan, and he will play Chaka. You may know Khan from productions like Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom, and Strike Back. Chaka, together with Pell, is one of the 2 most important warriors of the Alabasta Royal Guard. Thanks to the Inu no Mi model, Jackal. He can transform into a jackal and fights directly on the front line when the country is attacked. Since he does not have as big and emotional a moment as Pell, he stays a little more in the background in the story, but he is one of the most reliable names standing beside Cobra and protecting the palace and the people. Pell represents the falcon power coming from the sky, while Chaka represents the jackal of the desert, and together they can be seen as the guardian warriors of Alabasta. When we look at these four announced characters in general, we can see that Netflix has completed both sides of the rebellion. On one side, there will be Koza and the rebels. On the other side, the kingdom protected by Pell and Chaka, and in the middle, Vivi, who is trying to stop both sides from destroying each other. Toto will represent the people who still have not lost hope in the middle of all this conflict. Right after the live-action announcements, a much bigger surprise came from the anime side, and One Piece film God Valley was officially announced. The movie will be released in theaters in Japan in the summer of 2027. The international release date has not been announced yet, so we do not know exactly when the film will come to our side. But the 2027 date was chosen specifically because the One Piece manga will celebrate its 30th anniversary that year. In the short announcement video that was shared, we saw Roger, Garp, and Rox, and that alone is enough to show how massive the scale of this movie will be. Because God Valley is an incident that was only mentioned in a few sentences for years, then slowly revealed piece by piece, and finally started showing its real face in the manga chapters during the Elbaf period. Now, this entire past story will come to us on the scale of a major theatrical film instead of television episodes. The God Valley incident takes place 38 years before the main story, on an island of the same name located in the West Blue. Later, the world government completely erases this island from maps and historical records. According to the official story we were told for years, Garp defeats the Rox pirates at God Valley and becomes the hero of the Marines. But the truth is much more complicated than that. At God Valley, the Celestial Dragons organize a horrific human hunting event, and both the island's people and the slaves brought there become targets of this game. Extremely powerful devil fruits are among the prizes, and when this information spreads, the Rox pirates, the Roger pirates, the Marines, and the world government's most dangerous fighters all gather on the same island. So in this film, we will not only see the great battle between Roger, Garp, and Rox, but also why the world government wanted to erase the entire incident from history. The movie's character lineup has not been officially announced, but when we look at the story being adapted, we should see young Whitebeard, Big Mom, Kaido, Shiki, and many major pirates from the Rox era. Alongside them, Kuma, Ivankov, and Ginny's attempt to escape slavery, young Monkey D, Dragon's experiences while he was still a Marine, and the God Valley connection of Shanks and the Figureland family are also part of this incident. Shaki being kidnapped and different pirates moving to save her are also among the important reasons why everyone gathers on the same island. It even turns out that Rox's reason for coming to God Valley was not simply power or treasure like we thought for years. So this story does not simply present Rox as the world's most evil pirate and Garp and Roger as two perfect heroes who stopped him. On the contrary, it changes many things we know about who is a hero and who is a villain. In my opinion, the truly exciting part of the movie lies here more than in the big fights. The God Valley movie will also represent a first for One Piece. Because in previous theatrical films, we usually went to new islands outside the main story, met a movie original villain, and returned to the main story after the adventure ended. God Valley, however, will directly adapt a canonical past story told by Eiichiro Oda in the manga. So if we miss this, we will not only miss a fun side adventure, but also information that affects the main story about Roger, Garp, Rox, Shanks, Dragon, and the world government. Of course, right now, the director, runtime, voice cast, and how much the movie will expand the manga chapters have not been announced. Also, unlike what some people are saying, it has not been confirmed that the movie will completely replace the television anime or that no normal anime episodes will air in 2027. What we know is that the God Valley Past will be adapted as a theatrical film and will be released in Japan in the summer of 2027. But that was not the only movie surprise at One Piece Day. A second movie called One Piece Film BAAD will also be released in 2029. The year 2029 also marks the 30th anniversary of the television anime, and it was announced that the title lettering of the film was drawn directly by Eiichiro Oda. The problem is that right now, we do not know what BAAD means, who the movie will focus on, or whether it will be adapted from the main story. Because the letter D in the title is especially emphasized, some people think it could be connected to the will of D. There are also theories going around that it could be a Blackbeard-centered story, that we could go to the Void Century, or that it may continue some of the secrets revealed after God Valley. But all of these are only theories for now. Officially, we have no story information beyond the movie's title, the fact that it will be released in Japan in 2029, and the title design prepared by Oda. The fact that the movie was announced 3 years early with only its name also makes it feel like they are already preparing space for something very big that Oda will reveal later. So the coming years will truly be very full for One Piece. On one side, there is the live-action Alabasta War, where Vivi will try to save her country, Koza will lead the rebellion, and Pell and Chaka will defend the kingdom. On the other side, God Valley is coming, where we will finally watch the past of Roger, Garp, and Rox on the scale of a theatrical film. And after that, BAAD, a movie we do not even really know anything about yet, will be waiting for us. So what do you think about the new casting choices? Especially when it comes to Pell's famous scene, would you want it to be changed in the live-action series? In the God Valley movie, are you most excited to see Roger and Rox's battle, Young Dragon, or Shanks's past? And what do you think the name BAAD means? Definitely write your theories in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned so you do not miss future One Piece videos. See you in the next video.